Hey, welcome back. Last time we had this video, we made some modifications to the category so you can see the different categories. And if we log in to the admin panel, we can actually add different categories and blog posts over there. So we can go under there, we can go to the beginning, and we also added this link, which is great because it just takes us directly there. Next, in this video, we can just do some cleanup of, the user interface and add. You can see this read post doesn't work right now, so it's something we would want to fix for sure, and take it from there. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to the views function. In the views function, this is where we can query each of the database models. So we have this for the home page, this for the list of categories, this for post by category. So we have all of this already. And I want like a post detail view. Okay, so we can do that. Let's call it post detail. As usual, we want the request as an argument, and we also want the slug of the title. So we need to do that. Let's do that right now. But before we do that, let's see models. Okay, so what did we call it? We call it blog slug. Okay, so cool. We want the blog slug. Let's go to the views. View function for blog post detail. What we want to do is we want to get, so for each post, like we want to get the actual blog post. So let's call it blog post. It's going to be, so the post table in the database, I want to get, so we'll use the objects manager and use the get function. Now what we want to get is we want to get the blog slug to be equals to the blog slug. Okay, now we're going to pass this into context. Say context equals to, so this is a dictionary. Okay, and return render request equals to request we want the context to be equals to, and the template is going to be under pages blog post.html. Anyway, let's say blog detail. We don't just, now we need to make sure that this blog detail exists. Let's create this over here. We want to extend from the base pages / base HTML. blog detail here. Take it one step at a time. So we have the view. This is usually the first step. Next, you want to connect this to the URLs page. So let's add it over here. So it's gonna be part. We want it to be, trying to tell Django that we expect it to be a string, because we want this to be the slug, right? The blog slug. I believe that's what I called it over there. So let's say blog slug. Okay. Oh yeah. I've got a blog slug. Come here. So what function will represent the view? Views dot post detail name. Let's call it post content. Try not to use the same name multiple times so we don't get confused. Either way, it's still gonna work. So this is what the URL looks like. So we've settled out the view URL. We have the templates. Next, what we want to do, we need to go to the home page, because remember, this is going to be on the home page. When they press this read post, it's supposed to show, take us to that page. So let's just sort that out. Home page. Now this is the button. Okay, there's a way we can wrap this. Let me just save us some typing time and do this. Okay, save us time typing. Go over here to home, save us some time. Let's see, read post. Now we need to set up all this stuff. So what was the URL we set up? The name was post content. That's good. Post content. What was I? Home. Okay. Post underscore content. Okay. What do we want to pass in there? So the blog slug parameter, that's what needs to be passed in there. Go to home. Now this, okay, and here is called blog post. So let's see, under the models, you can see this, the blog slug is called blog slug, and since this is a representation of it, we're just gonna do let's say blog post dot blog slug. Let's first change this to blog slug. Let's go. Okay, now that worked. So read post, blog detail here. What I want you to see though is, even though the content is not being displayed yet, because we're going to work on that, if you look at the address bar, you can see when I select, let's say first view completed, you can see first view completed. That is exactly what I wanted for the blog post entries. Okay, say it's October, it's October. Okay, and that's why we used the view and the slug and things like that. Now that we've seen how that works, now let me go into the detail on how to explain what just happened. We started out with making a function. In this case, blog post detail collects the request as an attribute and another name. This could have been anything, but I decided to call it blog slug, right? Query the database, trying to get. So we go to the database table, which is post. I remember post has all these fields, these attributes, one of them being blog slug. What I did here was said go to this table, use the objects manager and get a field blog slug that is going to be equals to the passed in attribute. Once you get it, pass it into the context and return the request, the context, while putting a HTML blog post detail. You notice blog post detail is empty. I just didn't do anything with it. I just placed this blog detail here because we're going to develop this HTML page. Next, after creating the view function, go on to the URL. First thing you need to do is set up how you want the URL string to appear. So you see here I said, okay, this blog slug must be a string, which essentially that's what it is. If you check this, okay, click something, essentially a string. So it says, okay, go get the string representation of that. It's fine. That's what it does. Okay, gets the string and it asks, okay, what view is responsible for this address? So when a user comes to this address, what view should be triggered? And this is the view that is triggered, the post detail view. So all of this happens and this information is passed. The database is queried once this function is called and this is passed to the template and then give it a name, post content. And that's what we did here. We gave it a name and we went to the home page, put in post content, name of the URL, and don't forget this requires the blog slug attributes to be supplied, and that's what we did here. So we did that, put it as a button, and yeah, it works. So in the next video we're going to make it a bit more pretty and add stuff and then add comments, but for right now I think it's a good point to stop. See you in the next one.